Gonna work a little in my high tunnel today, getting the irrigation ready and maybe get some stuff planted. It's pretty hot in here, probably a 10-degree difference. I don't have a thermometer in here just yet, but I need to get this irrigation done. I need to get this in here so we can start planting in here. I've got the things I need to get it started. I don't have everything that the grant will pay for. I don't have everything that I might need ultimately, but I've got enough to get myself started and get rows of drip tape and drip irrigation all the way down this 150-foot high tunnel. This is a 30 by 150-foot high tunnel. I don't have any experience with this. I've read some online. I'm going to experiment some. So what I think I'm going to do is to put 8 rows and put them 4 foot across. So if I put the first line of drip tape about 1 foot from both ends, then I can do them 4 foot across and I can get 8 rows. That's a lot of growing space. I'm gonna make a mark here on this west end of it every 1 foot. Then I can use that for spacing in the future as well. Got my Sharpie here and I've got my tape measure. This long black hose, it's pretty cheap. I think it was 20 or 40 cents a foot. They call it Manifold. We got it at a place called Deerfield Supplies in Elkton, Kentucky. I don't know what I'm doing very well. This is my first time doing it, so I'm taking you along with me. They told me what I would need, and that's the thing I got. So this is what they call Manifold. And we got 60 foot of it, got a little extra than what we needed. We're only going to put it going widthways, and then the drip tape is going to go with the whole length of the 150 foot. Better to have more than you need, especially at that price, than not enough. This is what goes on the end. This will go into the end, and then it'll tighten on there. It wasn't a very clean and straight cut, so I straightened it up. You just shove this in here. I would assume that you would try to get it in there as far as you can. And then you screw this on there. And this isn't super high pressure. There's gonna be a regulator on the other end. I'll show you in just a minute. Here's what's gonna go on the other end. This is a regulator. You've got to put a low pressure regulator to make sure that it will lower the amount of pressure. So this lowers it to about 10 PSI. And I got this screwed down there good. And then all I have to do is just set it where I want it here. Now here's the mark for 1 foot. That's where I'm gonna put the first one. And then just a little bit further over, it'll be 5 foot from the edge. I'll put the second one, and then 9 foot, and then 13 foot. We bought this little tool right here. It cuts a hole in there. And maybe that's to make the hole just a bit bigger. I'm not really sure. This is the first hole I've ever made in these before. Oh. That's pretty easy. There's the plastic. The hole made pretty easy. Do you see it right there? Then you'll take one of these. It's got a valve on there. All this does is it just shoves in here. I'm having a hard time getting it in there because here, do you see the size difference? So I'm going to ream it out a little bit with this. Ouch. Oh, there we go. Got it in there. I don't ever have to take this out of this manifold. If I decide that I don't want to use this length of drip tape, I'll just shut this valve off right here. Or if I don't want to water this row for this one, then I can shut the valve off as well. Let's do a second one. So I'll do the same thing. Now take one of these bad boys with a valve, and it's kind of a, you gotta shove it in there. You gotta shove it in there, but it goes in just fine. So there's 2 of them. I'm gonna finish all these, and I'll show you the drip tape. So I've got all 8 of them in here. Really pretty easy to do. You saw how they were. The other ones went pretty fast as well. Got the manifold coming out of the high tunnel, and then all the way over here where I'm going to connect it to the water hose, I'll just stick this on the end with the regulator. It's already got the regulator on there, and then I can hook water to it, and I'm going to show you how we're going to run the drip tape. This really is pretty easy. I haven't ever done irrigation like this before because I thought it was going to be more complicated. It really is very easy, far cheaper than I thought it was going to be. Here's the end of the manifold. I got the end kind of straight. I just used my pocket knife, and it does the same way. This goes in the end, and then it tightens down. Take a look. Really is as easy as that. Okay, so I've got it down on the ground right behind me. This is just where it'll stay. My next step is to put the drip tape in the high tunnel, and I've got to put some ends on that drip tape as well. After I do that, then I can turn the water on and see how it works. Here is the drip tape. This is 2,000 foot, and it was $65. So that's really not that bad if you ask me. This is what they said I needed, so this is what I got. Here's what it looks like. Also, before I started the camera, I put some of these on the manifold, so whenever I'm pulling on it with the drip tape, that it won't move. Put one of these pins on either side of every valve. So this is why you read instructions first. I've never done it before, and it says to make sure I pressurize it and I flush everything out before I do it. I guess I need to go do that first. This, incidentally, is the battery that runs the fan, and there's a solar panel that Papa put on it. I can show you in a second. There's a fan that blows the 2 layers of plastic apart that creates some insulation in the wintertime, so it'll keep it warmer in here. So there's 2 layers of plastic on this high tunnel, and then this fan that runs on 12 volts because we don't have any electricity over here. We didn't want to run any electricity over here, and if the power goes out for an extended amount of time, we don't want to have to run a generator all the time in the wintertime. This doesn't require much electricity at all. I guess I will flush the lines. I don't really want to because it might make it a little muddy over here. I really don't want to fool with that right now, but the directions say to do so. I would really rather follow those directions. I'm gonna go ahead and go turn the water on. I'll just leave this running, go do that, and I'll probably just clip it out in editing. There were a couple of kinks in the manifold, so that actually helped slow it down some. That pressure regulator really kind of helped. Can you see it coming out just a little bit? So now I'm gonna put the ends on the drip tape and take it over there. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna turn all these valves off. There don't really appear to be any leaks anywhere. Yep, I went back and it looks good. Don't see any drips anywhere. Looks like it's doing well. Very glad that it didn't make a whole lot more water coming out to make me a muddy mess to work with. It is supposed to be drip tape. It is only about 10 pounds of pressure. Let's get this drip tape run across, and then we're ready to plant, I guess. I've not done this before. This is really supposed to be pretty easy. All you gotta do is take this drip tape and you just put it over here on the end. I'll get one so you can see a little closer. This is the end that goes in the manifold, this right here with that rubber, that piece of rubber on there. And this is the end that the drip tape goes on. And you see that it's flared a little bit. So you put that on the end. And then you tighten this thing down. And that does the trick. It's really very easy. So that's what I'm gonna do down here. Just one more. Camera says that clip was 18 minutes and 17 seconds. Feels like I took about an hour. I found one more use for my high tunnel, a sauna. Whew. Let me show you what you do to put the ends on, and then we can pressurize it and see how it works. So here are the end pieces. These work the same way as the others. You put it on there, and then you screw it down. Here's another one. So on the other side, I was trying to make sure that the drip part went down. I don't think that's necessary. I think that can be on the top side. Don't really make much difference. Oh. But I'd prefer it to be on the bottom because gravity helps it do its thing then, whereas otherwise it doesn't as much. I'm pushing it on there as far as I can. Sometimes it's further than others. And this, it doesn't matter because you can just rotate it any way you want to. And then I tighten it down. See, all done. I'll do that for all 8 of these, and then we'll pressurize it. It's hot in here. So we got it done. There are 8 rows. I'll show you in just a second. Some of them leaked at the end a little bit, so I needed to, take them off, take the drip tape off and rehook it on there and put it back on there and tighten it down. But after that, it works just fine. But it is hot in here, isn't it?
It is very hot in here. I'm kind of surprised how warm it is. Do I have food on my face?
I think it was food.
Oh, I always have something on my face. Who's with me?
It's been running probably for, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes. It was so hot in here, I took a break. I went up to the house. It's definitely doing it. Can you see the change, the little change in color there? It's just really slow. It's just a little drip. You remember Just a Little Crush? In case you didn't recognize the tune. It's gonna do what we want. I think we're ready to plant now, but we're not gonna do that in this video. It really was pretty easy. I'd say with everything that we had here, the manifold it's 30 foot of it. I'd say everything here was probably maybe 50 bucks. The roll of irrigation tape was $65 for 2,000 feet, and we only used approximately 1,200 feet, so 150 times 8. I think that's about 1,200. Unless you want to take that as the whole roll, you need about a whole roll, so that would be about 65 plus about $20 or $30 in fittings, so maybe $100. There's still a lot left. If you like things like this, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, select all so you never miss a notification.
Bye!
See y'all next time.